Hey everybody, what's up? We are back with another stock analysis. Today we're looking at Roivant Sciences. They are a biopharmaceutical company. They basically have a portfolio of different medications that they do, but yeah, biopharmaceutical could be interesting. They're a little bit more established just because they have multiple products that have like approval and revenue. So I think they're a safer bet than your usual bio company. Um, but anyway, we're going to get into them today, look over everything we need to. So if you're interested, make sure to subscribe. If you haven't, comment below any videos you want me to review, and let's get into Roivant Sciences. So you can see here their product portfolio. They have a bunch of different medications which treat a bunch of different things. Some things to look at right off the bat: 8.6 billion market cap, fairly decent size, especially for a company that has a 61% long-term growth rate. Target price is at $16, and we are at 12 right now, so that's looking pretty good. If we go down to their growth summary, we can see some things here. They have fairly positive estimates here, especially for sales, where they're estimating more than double, more than 100% sales growth over 5 years. So that's fairly solid there. And again, this is per year, so their sales are projected to explode basically over the next 5 years. At least that's what they are estimating. So, with companies like biopharmaceuticals, it is basically entirely dependent on what the government wants to authorize them to use or not. So, it is still very high risk. Now, this company is more established as they already have multiple different products, but overall, it is very high risk as one of those products could get taken off the market. One of their new products that they put a ton of research into could get shot down. So, it's really just a matter of what happens with everything being approved. So again, very high risk. Let's head into the fiscal years here, see if they have 2024, which they do. So record growth in the past year. Gross income looks really, really good. SG&A expense is a little bit higher. Operating income is negative, which is interesting considering their net income has been positive for the past year. So that is kind of fascinating to see their operating being negative and their net being positive. Now, I'm not sure exactly where they come from, but I believe it's mostly just non-operating income, which you can see here. Just other income that they're getting. I don't know exactly what that other income would be, but they are getting it. So either way, net profit. That's all we need to see. Their total shares is actually fairly shaky, where they're kind of going up and down. I mean, 5 years ago they had 215 million shares. Now they're at 700 million, but they also were at 800 million. So I don't really know how to react to that. But basically, just hoping to see that go down, just based on how fast it went up. But overall, not too much to say there. Um, Onto their balance sheet, we're looking at massive, enormous asset growth in 2024, literally tripled or more their assets. Um, Most of that comes through cash, which I'm assuming, which we will see in a little bit, I'm assuming comes from selling their stock. But overall, I mean, that amount of cash, hopefully they either massively expand their R&D or maybe they'll make some acquisitions. I mean, they have nearly their own market cap in their cash, so that's very, very good. Very little debt too. They have about $500 million total in debt, but that's no big deal considering how much cash they have. Honestly, very impressive for how much cash they do have. I'm assuming it will go into some kind of acquisition or something like that, but we'll have to see in the near future what they do. Other than that, looking through their cash flows, operating activity is negative across the board, investing activities. So it looks like what happened was they sold a ton of investments, and that's where they got their cash from. Hopefully, they reinvest that in the company, like I was saying. We'll have to see in the future. But again, with their record sales growth, it does not really matter what they sell. As long as their sales are going up, this is a good thing. So hopefully we see some stuff going towards increasing even farther with all of this cash that they've received. Other than that, financing activities look okay. Again, they have been diluting their stock, but apparently in the last quarter of 2024, they have repurchased some stock. So could be good. We'll have to see how it goes with their next earnings report. But other than that, I think that's basically it. We can look through their segment history a little bit, and it looks like 2020 was a really good year for them. But since then, they have been more steadily growing and are now at very significant all-time highs with their sales. So overall, pretty good. Let's check out their ratios, which shouldn't be too great. However, um, at least for their operating, as we saw earlier, operating margin is massively negative. But again, so is their net margin is massively positive. So I really don't know what to think with these. I think just the way that their balance sheets and financial statements are set up is that they do have very strange margins. But overall, I think what we want to look at is the gross margin here, which is at 77%, which is good. SGA to sales is coming down significantly. Again, still being at 900% is really rough, but overall, not too bad. If we look at the quarters, maybe we could get a little bit of a better view here. And not really, no. There's some work that needs to be done with these financial statements so they don't have a 3,800% net margin, which is good. Don't get me wrong, but it's not a sustainable number to have. So I'm sure that will start coming down towards a real number that we can actually base investment information off of soon. Long-term debt to total equity, we went over this earlier a little bit. They have barely any debt, perfectly fine with their debt situation. So now let's get into their earnings and kind of see what's been going on recently. So, business update right here. Let's check out this one. So, a lot of stuff. It looks like this is some highlights, just some medications that they've been developing. Return capital through share repurchases with 106 million purchased for the quarter. $754 million in share repurchases through September 2024. That is fantastic. Considering it's like, I think we said $8 or $9 billion company, 700 million is crazy. That's awesome. Hopefully they continue that in the future. Other than that, cash equivalents at 5.4 billion. So read through this specific medication stuff if you want to. I will not be. They do have a lot of recent developments as well as some upcoming milestones. Looks like just a lot of their medication will be going through some new things recently, and they have a lot of recent developments. So overall, I think this can be really good. Clearly, there's a lot of growth planned here. I think the company definitely has a ton of potential. One thing to point out is that their stock price has been very consistently going up for a while now. However, they have been making smaller and smaller moves. So hopefully there's a big move in store fairly soon. But overall, looks really good. Um, Basically just forming a rising wedge, as we can see here, just based on these higher or lower highs and higher lows. So hopefully right around this area we see a breakout just based on all the growth I'm seeing, the investments that they're selling and tons of cash that they have. I think we can see some big announcements followed by a breakout towards probably all-time highs. It looks like their all-time high is right around 1650. So I do think that just based on the way this stock looks, based on the way their earnings have been going, their long-term growth rate, all these different things, it looks really solid. Comment below if you have any more information on the company. I always like to see other people's perspectives on these. But honestly, it looks really good. So that's all I've got for now. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't. Thanks for watching. Hope you learned something, and I'll see everybody in the next video.